Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I, 29 female, have a sister called Ella, 27 female. Growing up, I was put in the position of being a parent to Ella, despite how close in age we are. Our dad died while we were young, which, to be honest, wasn't much of an impact because he wasn't a present or involved dad, and I don't think he really wanted us. Then, when Ella was 6 and I was 8, she was diagnosed with diabetes and ended up in the hospital after falling extremely sick, which is how they diagnosed her. Mom fell apart and basically checked out after the diagnosis. She went to the hospital every day and was there, but she never took anything in, made no effort to make sure she was able to help Ella deal with her diagnosis. Wasn't there for me. Once Ella came home, I had to take over and make sure we had something to eat. And I had to push Mom to bring money into the house some way, because she lost her job after Ella's diagnosis when she basically ghosted her boss and refused to speak to them. It was a tough life, and Ella really clung to me. Lines were blurred because I wanted to be her sister, but she needed and wanted a parent, and after a while, I was more of a mom in her eyes than a sister. Our relationship never returned to one of sisters. For Ella, she couldn't see me as anything other than her parent. Ella is now engaged to Jackson, 30 male. Jackson is my ex. We were together from the ages of 19 to 23. Jackson cheated on me and stole from me. He slept with a girl who was crappy to me at work and tried to excuse it as they got drunk, though I found it happened at least 5 times. He also bought her stuff with my money. Literally took it from my house to buy this chick stuff. I was furious. I even called the police on him when I learned what he had done. Ella started dating him 18 months ago. I wasn't happy when she told me. No part of me thought it was a good idea. She told me she knew he was an awful jerk when I knew him, but he had changed and blah blah blah. I told her it was her life, but she had to understand if they ended up being a serious thing, it wouldn't mean I would be close to him. She told me that we, my husband and I, husband was Jackson's best friend when I was dating him, and that's how we met, should at least be civil and give things a chance. The problem now is she told me to buy Jackson a gift, as a symbol of me accepting him into our little family. She has been at this for 3 months now and won't let up. She accused me initially of being bitter because I wouldn't. But then she called me selfish last week when I said I wouldn't buy him crap. She told me I have always been selfish, and it set me off because after everything I did for her, she called me selfish and I threatened to skip her wedding. She got so upset and ran to extended family who did nothing for us when we were kids, who all told me I was awful for making that threat. Ella even said I was cruel to even consider not showing. Am I the a-hole? Sounds like it would be better for everyone if OP distanced herself from Ella and her life. OP can attend her next wedding because her marriage to this prize winner is not going to last. Also, I think Ella is delusional. Why should OP buy Jackson a gift to show she accepts him? How about Jackson gives OP an actual sincere apology for everything he put her through and return all the money he stole from OP? And now let's see if the community agrees with me. 150219 says, I'm sorry, is the dating pool a circle? Your ex dating your sister, you marrying your ex's best friend. That normally would always be people you exclude from dating, man. Anyway, not the a-hole. She likely doesn't see it the same as you, as she was a kid and probably doesn't realize how much you sacrificed for her. I'm really questioning his intentions with your sister, considering his backstory. What a mess. Alana Advice says, not the a-hole, but why in the world are you even considering going to the wedding? After how Jackson treated you, Ella dating him is a huge betrayal. I'd sit down your sister and address her cluelessness, her selfishness and entitlement. Seems long overdue in my opinion. Legitimate Bad 8445 says, not the a-hole. I think your dynamic with her has always been you giving and giving, while her taking and taking. And instead of being grateful and appreciative in her adult years, she just expects you to keep giving. Her getting with your ex, despite knowing how crappy he treated you, shows how she thinks about you. If it were me, I would keep my distance from her for the time being. You don't need to mother her anymore. My mom and dad were not wealthy people. Actually, growing up, the family was lower middle class. In 2008, my parents received notice that the U.S. government was claiming their house and land in eminent domain. My parents received a sizable check that they didn't want to take, but had to. Can't fight the feds when you're paycheck to paycheck. I, 52 male, and my wife offered my parents the basement of our home that we could furnish as a separate home. They were older and wanted to be closer to grandkids, and my dad was closer to a few fishing spots. So they agreed, and it worked out well for all of us. I didn't charge anything because they're my parents, and they did more than we could ask for. My mom cooked for the family, which helped my wife and I immensely, while my dad took care of the yard, which he liked to do. Years ago, my mom and dad went to visit my sister for the holidays to see her and her kids, but my family couldn't go due to work. I didn't hear much of anything, which wasn't odd, until Christmas Eve and day. I reached out but was told we would talk later, even weirder, until my parents returned home much earlier than expected, and they were upset. My dad explained to me that my sister had been having an affair and her husband was leaving her. Apparently, the youngest girl isn't his either. Terrible situation all around, and everyone blamed my sister, as do I. I felt bad for the little girl though. She was innocent in the whole thing. Unfortunately, both of my parents passed away a few years ago in a close time span and never really made amends with my sister. My parents were from a different time period, and my sister is stubborn. I don't know really, I guess. My mom passed last and made it clear she didn't want my sister to get anything and said to follow the will. It was hard hearing that, to be honest. My parents left the majority of their finances to my family, while also leaving a college fund for my sister's oldest daughter. My sister wasn't able to save anything for her youngest daughter and had asked me to help her out. My daughters won't be able to stop with just a bachelor's degree and will require more, and I wished to help with that, so I declined. Things got ugly, and I apologized again and brought up the fact that this was all her fault for having an affair on her husband. Had she not done that, this wouldn't be a problem. She countered with, had she not done it, her daughter wouldn't be here, thus I must hate her. My youngest niece recently reached out via Facebook and asked for help, and that it wasn't fair she was being excluded for just being born, and she didn't do anything to anyone. I apologized to her and told her I agreed with her. However, I had my own children to think of. Am I the a-hole here? Edit. I was told to add this in. I offered to pay for 2 years of community college. However, both my sister and my niece feel that was a joke. I've since rescinded their offer. Well, while OP's sister made a bad choice for cheating, I think OP's parents were massively in the wrong for punishing their blood grandchild for the mother's misbehavior. And OP sucks for not sticking up for his niece. That child has done nothing wrong and is no less their grandchild or niece than the older sister is. The only innocence is the spouse that was cheated on and the little girl. Sure, OP can follow what his parents said in the will, but if it was me, I would have argued with the grandparents before they passed about including their youngest granddaughter. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Dodie25 says, not the a-hole. Maybe baby daddy, a fair partner, should step up and help pay for his daughter. So Valkyrie Mama says, not the a-hole, but I do feel bad that your younger niece is paying for her mother's bad choices. It's not her fault, but it's not your kid's fault either. This is a mess, but I see nothing wrong with following your mother's dying wishes. Why can't the younger niece reach out to her bio dad for help? Cabbage says, not the a-hole. It's a sad situation for the daughter, but your parents left the money the way they wanted. Edit. It does seem like an odd decision for your parents to have made. She is still their granddaughter, regardless of having a different dad. When I, female 30, was 16, I met my first real boyfriend. Vince, male 31. He was 17 at the time. We were together for a year and then broke up. While me and Vince definitely aren't friends, we are still friendly. The extent of our interaction is yearly happy birthday and happy new year message, along with some small talk on that occasion. We follow each other on Instagram and sometimes like each other's pics. That is it, nothing more. Anyway, when I was at a New Year's Eve party a few days ago, I got a message from Vince saying, "Hey, Happy New Year. I wish you all the best." To which I replied, "Happy 2024. Hope it treats you well." Fast forward to this morning. I got a message on Instagram from a girl I don't know, and this is what it said. "Hey OP, I'm not sure you know me, but I'm Vince's girlfriend. We've been together for a while now, and we are very serious about each other. I see that you message him and like his pics. I would appreciate if you stop that. We are going to get married, and these sort of interactions are not appropriate anymore. I hope you understand that inserting yourself in our relationship causes turmoil, and I cannot handle the stress and anxiety of it anymore. So I am kindly asking you to stop." I was floored. I actually just started laughing, but I also got angry. She's misrepresenting things in her message. I checked out her profile. She's 23. I was a bit surprised by the age gap, but whatever floats their boat, I guess. She has plenty of pics of them together, so it's legit. She's his girlfriend. Now, I'm not sure what to do here. I feel like this girl is imagining things. She's claiming me liking some of Vince's pics and wishing him happy birthday is causing turmoil in their relationship. She says I'm inserting myself into their relationship. Me and Vince are not close at all. I didn't even know he was in a relationship. I showed this to my fiancé and best friend. My fiancé advised I block them both and don't get involved in this drama, which is definitely something I'm not opposed to. But my best friend told me I should maybe just send a screenshot of this to Vince, because maybe he knows about it so it won't be a surprise to him. But if he doesn't, maybe he'd want to know his girlfriend is reaching out to his ex with some strange demands. So I don't know what to do here. I'm absolutely not going to reply to her. But should I let Vince know she messaged me, or just let it be? Frequent Team 556 says, "What the duck? It's been more than 10 years. What's that girl doing? Why is she worried about an ex of 10 years? Does she have something else to occupy her time with? She's clearly emotionally immature. She should talk to her boyfriend, not to you." Flomo Joe Blow says, "Definitely do not engage with her. Take a screenshot and send it to Vince. Just keep it neutral, along the lines of, 'Hey, just wanted to share with you what blank sent me. I apologize if any interaction has been misconstrued as me inserting myself into your relationship. Best regards, OP.' Then let him handle it. If he blocks you, so be it. If he doesn't block you, so be it." She Be Me says, "I'd block her and send it to him. He's probably going to feel embarrassed, so be prepared for that. Let him decide what to do with the information." My brother has 2 children from his marriage to his late wife, Denise. His son just turned 20, and his daughter is 18. Denise died when the children were 6 and 7 years old. 18 months later, my brother met Catherine, his second wife, and they married after 4 months of knowing each other. Catherine was unable to have biological children, and she always dreamed of being a mom and wanted to be a mom to my nephew and niece. My brother wanted this for her also, but the kids did not want to be Catherine's children. They did not want to call her mom or be adopted by her. They did not want her to be the sole focus of Mother's Day, etc. My brother spent years trying to get the children to call Catherine mom. He and Catherine applied for her to adopt the kids and were rejected by the judge after she spoke to the children about what they wanted. They tried again and were denied by a different judge before making it to court. Things were always tense with my brother and his children. It was also tense with the rest of the family because some of us spoke up and asked him why he was pushing this on his children so much. He would say Catherine deserved to be a mom and deserved the respect of being a loving and nurturing mother to the kids. Mother's Day from the first year they were married until last year was very toxic. My brother no longer allowed his kids to see their maternal relatives that day, and they also didn't see any of us or visit the grave. He said the day in their family was for Catherine. He would make her breakfast and give her cards and gifts from the kids. Then the kids would tell her she didn't deserve to be celebrated for Mother's Day, and she was nobody's mother. My brother didn't like it, and Catherine would be upset at the reminder. The kids would also be quick to inform Catherine they never wrote the cards, because my brother always addressed them to Mom, and the kids never called her that. In the last few months, my brother has lost contact with his children. The last time they spoke to their dad, the kids told him he put Catherine's once before them, and they would never forgive him for that. They said he had no right to insist that they be the children to fill the void for her when they already had a mom who they loved. My brother dismissed the idea entirely that he put Catherine before the kids like that. When I saw him for New Year's at my parents' house, he was telling me about it, and I told him the kids were right, and he did put Catherine's wants before the kids. I said he made her want to be a mother the most important thing and tried to force the kids to comply and be her kids. He told me that was not what happened, and I should be sympathetic to him and to Catherine, who had her heart broken by the kids. Am I the a-hole? Local Pineapple says, "You're the a-hole. Sounds like a good single dad making the best of a tough situation, and 2 little kids and family making it worse for him. You are indeed an a-hole for poking your nose into this, and those kids need therapy. Medical reporter says, not the a-hole. He asked and you answered. He sounds like he needs a smack in the face to wake him up from his delusions. It also sounds like even his kids abandoning him and you telling the truth wasn't enough. Is Catherine as delusional as him? Big Circle Small says, not the a-hole. Wow. I'm not surprised they cut contact. You got it 100% right. He prioritized his new wife's imagined motherhood over his children. I feel somewhat bad for Catherine too. Wanting children and not having them is traumatic. And her new husband promised her the world, and in doing so, poisoned her chance at a form of motherhood. My wife and I have been married for 20-some-odd years. We've been living in the same condo for about 10 of those years. We raised our kid in this place, and it has a strong sentimental value. I never plan on leasing it out to anyone else, because it could be used for our kid someday if he ever needs a place to stay. I've gotten to the point in my career where buying a new house sounds possible. Also, now that the kid is gone, financially, I've been freed up a bit. My wife, unfortunately, does not have the same mindset, as she is much more conservative. My wife also just coincidentally ran into a large inheritance, as her mother just passed away, and she was an only child. Anyways, while she was grieving, I told her that I would like to take care of the implications of the will, and she gave me the legal authority to sort through her mother's affairs. With this authority, used about 40% to buy a new property in Colorado, a little less than $650K, and put the rest in our joint investment portfolio. The reason I had to buy it without her knowledge is because she did not want to deal with any financial issues while grieving, per her instructions, and I've had my eye on this market for a while. I just couldn't walk away from the opportunity once I found out about it. My plan is to visit it once a month and see how she feels about it. This will clearly benefit both of our lives, but I have a sinking feeling that I need to tell her and that I am selfish. If she likes it, surprise, yay, we will move in. If not, well, I could use it as a rental property or resell it. I believe that it has already appreciated. Anyways, looking for your feedback on this. Murzit says, you're the a-hole. You know damn well that her not wanting to deal with any decisions didn't mean go buy whatever you want with my money. Assidious says, you're the a-hole. You used the fact that she was grieving as a means to achieve your own goals. If you were acting in good faith, you would have avoided making such a large decision until you could discuss it together. Just the way IR says, you're the a-hole. Don't give us this BS that you had to keep it a secret because she didn't want to deal with it. You had to keep it a secret because you know damn well she would have said no. I would lose my ducking mind if my husband went out and bought a house without consulting me, even if he didn't essentially steal my money to do it.